Today, another drama in the life of the British monarchy and in particular Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. But as ever, what is that breaking story? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Nice to see you today. Whatever you're doing, as I often say, I know this, but do keep safe, look after yourselves because there's only us, isn't there? You know, I often think just sitting down with a lovely pot of tea and a couple of biscuits and a bit of serene time does you with the power of good, doesn't it? That and of course in a bit of a look of a ScoobyDoo cartoon from the 1970s. I know I'm daft, but really you can escape, you can be a kid again, can't you? You know what I'm saying? By the way, I didn't know if you know this, but you know I like to share these things with you. Lots of Perry Mason on YouTube for free, if you liked him. Do you remember him? Pre, of course, Ironside to my generation, Raymond Burr, fabulous actor. So if you're looking for something good to watch, would recommend that. Back as ever though to your breaking royal story of the day. This story, you know, again, it's terrible really, because when you think about it, we've gone through the most horrific week, well, the last, 10, 12, 14 days now, since we lost, of course, our gracious monarch, Queen Elizabeth II. And when you think about it, it really should be a moment of reflection. And people say to me, well, Neil, if you didn't report these stories, we wouldn't know. That's the whole point of the channel. We report the stories so that you do know, so it's fair and balanced, because what you may read in the press or may see with other people, then of course, it's up to you to decide who's telling you the absolute truth. From my point of view, we do research and then we present what we find. The particular story, really, when you think about it, is very difficult because, as we know, we recently told you about the bust-up at Balmoral between King Charles, Meghan Markle and, of course, Prince Harry, all really relating to the fact that he apparently didn't want to travel to Balmoral at the most, difficult time for, of course, the king. He was going through a terrible time, of course, with his late mother, as one could only imagine. But again, Harry wanted his own way. On this occasion, though, he didn't receive it. King Charles decided to put his foot down and only really wanted his sons around him. Seemingly for Harry, finally, he relented. But there's a bigger picture to this particular story, and again, I find this absolutely fascinating. It all really stems from the fact that, as we now know, Meghan Markle did attend the historic state funeral of Queen Elizabeth II with her husband Prince Harry. And as I've said before, I thought she was very respectful, looked very nice, and of course obviously kept a distance. Or did they keep their distance from her? Whichever way you look at it, there was a definite gulf between all the senior royal ladies, was there not? But according to a very good source, Meghan truly never actually thought she would be invited. And according to that source was, resigned to that fact, totally understood if that was the case. Apparently she didn't want the focus to be on her. Again though, the bigger picture emerged, and as ever, we have to say allegedly, that Prince Harry insisted that she attend with him. Now, you can debate this whichever way you want, and I'm sure you will, in the comments below. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because there's two ways you could look at that particular story. Could it be that Meghan realised the frostiness, perhaps, the things that she'd said over the last 2.5 years were not really necessarily the moment where she wanted to stand in this historic occasion? Perhaps she had a moment of reality, who knows? Another source told me, of course, that unlike most senior royals, Harry and Meghan did not travel with what they call, procession clothes, funeral clothes. All royals travel with them when they leave the country, just in case a situation develops. Meghan had nothing. So at the very last minute, an outfit had to be, sorted out. Shoes, hat, gloves, all of that sort of stuff, as one can imagine. So really, it was right up until the last moment when, of course, because Prince Harry insisted that she attend, that she did relent. And as I said before, I thought she was respectful. But isn't it strange that Prince Harry seemingly now can't do anything alone, even with his close family? And when you think about it, he attended the statue unveiling of his late mother, Princess Diana, alone, and of course attended the funeral of the late Duke of Edinburgh alone. But this time around, he certainly wasn't going it alone without Meghan to, of course, our late monarch's funeral. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.